All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Mid Week Tweek. We're going to take a look at these charts, figure out where we're headed to at the end of this week, and maybe we can get some insight into what's going to happen next week. And of course, at the end of this week, we're going to do the weekend roundup on Sunday. So be looking for that on Sunday, because on Sunday, we're going to take a look back and look at the charts and see how they've been moving and see if it's going to give us any indication, because the markets kind of opened up on Sunday in the afternoon, but they don't really let us trade. So it does some moving behind the scenes when we're not looking. So we're gonna take a look at that, because I can take a peek, but I just can't tweak. So we're gonna take a look at that and see what we can do. So as always, welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at the charts and get an idea of where we're headed. So now it looked like we ran into some resistance here at about 6,920 on the S&P 500, and getting a little bit of a pullback. Got a little indecision today on the 30th of October, and we got some windows open here. We got a little bit of a gap here and a little bit of a gap here. So the likelihood is that we're going to come back and shut these windows before continuing higher. Now we may push up and retest up in here, but I'm not too sure if we're going to get much higher until we shut these windows. Actually, it kind of seems a little weak right now in the markets. We're not getting a whole lot of volume as we're heading into November. All right, next up is going to be the Bitcoin, and Bitcoin continues to sell off again. It's staying within this channel here, retesting this 107 area. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. Nice red bars coming in. We had a big push down here and pull up. Now we may be pulling back down in here. So and if we take our drawing tool here and put our trend line in, if we go draw a trend line from here to here, okay, and then we copy it or activate it, and we can take it and put it here. Alright, we can kind of get an idea where we might be heading with Bitcoin. Now, is that necessarily going to be the way it's going to happen? Who knows? We'll find out for sure. But as trends go, it looks like that's where you want to be heading. And then maybe we'll get another one of these down here, right? And then another one of those. Oops, let's duplicate that one. Okay. So that could be the direction we're heading on Bitcoin. We'll know for sure as the market continues to push down, but we do know we got some support here at 107 because it was support before. We don't know if it's going to remain that way. We got the 200 coming underneath, and if the 200 goes flat, and we know that it can be a strong support area, but you know it can be broken through at some point. So we'll see what happens with that on the Bitcoin. Next up is going to be our oil. And oil is finding some support with the 20-day acting as support underneath for the oil. Pushed up from down around here at around $55. Pushed up, hit some resistance at 61. Pulled back, but we got the 20-day and the 8 and 13 SMAs coming underneath to act as some support. So we'll see what happens if we get a little bit of a J-hook pattern to roll over and push up into $67 as we head further towards the end of the year. Next up, it's going to be our Ethereum, and Ethereum is selling off like Bitcoin, but we got some support area that is coming in also. So we'll see what happens if it finds that support that Bitcoin is looking for on its chart. Next up is the gold futures, and gold is trying to push back higher, but it's got this overhead resistance at $4,066. We're going to see what happens on that overhead resistance of the 8 and 13 SMAs, and you got the 20 rolling over. So if this rolls over and heads down this way, and these continue to push it back this way, Then we look like we're going to continue to sell off, head down to about 3,741 on gold, and maybe even go lower as we've left the 150 and the 200 way behind on this move to the higher prices. Next up is going to be our nat gas, and nat gas got a gap in there, and it kind of left oil behind, but nat gas is doing its thing, but it's only at $3, so the difference in prices between nat gas and oil are significant. So nat gas is trying to push higher and continue to move higher, and it's above all its moving averages, so it's definitely trying to head into an uptrending market for nat gas. Next up is our NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ has got a little bit of pullback today. It's got an open window down here. Most likely we want to come in this area here and shut that window and then roll over and head back up on nat gas. But currently it looks like it wants to sell off a little bit, maybe drop a few points and then shut that window to head higher. Next up is going to be our silver, and silver is much like gold. It's trying to push back higher, but it's got overhead resistance coming in, and may want to continue to sell off. But we'll see what happens if it can push up through the 20 and get back up above this $50 mark and come back and find some support before heading higher. Then we know it got a nice trend movement to the upside. If we can't get that, then look out below. We might be heading down again on the silver. Next up is the Dow, and the Dow's run into some trouble at about 48,214, and we'll see what happens with that. Right now it can't seem to maintain anything above it, so we're going to have to see, give it some time to play out on the Dow. But right now it's showing some weakness as we move further into the end of the year. But a doji, so it's got some indecision going on in here, so it doesn't know if it wants to sell off or go higher. So we'll see how it plays out. But right now it's looking like it's in a bullish market, so most likely you can't trust the red, you have to trust the green, so it may continue to go higher on the Dow. Next up is going to be the corn futures. And corn, got a red bar today on corn. Looks like an indecision bar. Looks like kind of like a big doji. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna get some pullback in the corn for a minute, and then maybe try again. So we'll see what happens. But currently, right now, corn got this nice big red bar. So be careful. All right. So that's going to conclude our midweek tweak, and to catch you up. And right now it looks like the markets are looking kind of weak right now. We're getting some pullback. So if we pull back until the end of this week, and then maybe next week we might get a nice little pop in the major indices. But right now the only one that's really looking like it's not really being bothered by anything, I'd say, would be the Dow. Everything else is looking like it's just already trying to do the pullback. And just be wary of that, right? Because I don't think we got the SPY pulled up. Let's see. All right, that's it for now. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, be careful out there. These markets are crazy. And remember, subscribe, it's free.